A mother of 5 who says her military housing was riddled with mold is now fighting to help other military families nationwide. Good evening, I'm Mark Bullock.
And I'm Nairemi. Erica Thompson says the mold in her on-base housing made her family sick and ultimately forced them to move out.
Now she's taking her complaints to Congress because she says other military families are also suffering. She shared her story with WSFA 12 News reporter Emma Ellis.
Erica Thompson has been a military spouse for 22 years, but when she and her family moved into their military housing in 2023, they began to notice issues right away.
Having high humidity, and so they said, really, you need a new AC unit, but we can't afford one. And so we ended up getting dehumidifiers just to try and mitigate and do what we could, and we were dumping about 6 gallons of water a day.
Thompson says after she reported the issues, nothing was immediately done.
Once they finally did come out, we were in the home and they opened up the walls without any sort of containment, and so there was mold there and it contaminated the whole rest of the house.
She says the real problems began when her family members started getting sick.
Our kids, one of them started passing out in the home, and I was having tachycardia and other issues from health. Some kids were getting nauseous in certain rooms and headaches, and we were noticing rashes. And we also had to put down our dog. He was having the seizures and then lost his vision and mobility.
Thompson eventually moved her family to get away from the mold, but she began to connect with other military families who reported similar problems across the country.
And we connected with Change the Air Foundation, and it's a nonprofit that works for clean, healthy air, and they've been working on state policy a lot and some federal legislation, and so I wanted to do something more.
Thompson brought her children to Washington, D.C. to advocate for legislation that would protect families from toxic mold in military housing.
We were able to share the story. They were able to sit in meetings, meet senators and congressmen and women, and really we just want to change what's happening in military housing now for the future for other families.
Thompson worked with Congressman Jack Bergman of Michigan on an amendment to the most recent National Defense Authorization Act for mold remediation standards to create safer protocols when it comes to treatment and removal of mold in buildings on military bases. And Mark, just a few weeks ago, Thompson and her family went to D.C. to introduce the Military Occupancy Living Defense Act, also known as the Mold Act. This piece of legislation would put in even more specific parameters, including requiring mold testing in military housing and for the results to be disclosed with the families who will be occupying those homes.
Emma, thanks for that. We appreciate the information. That bill, by the way, is before the Senate. It has been read twice and has now been referred to the Senate Armed Services Commission. We'll keep you posted on its progress.